U.S. Marines deploy to Norway, Arctic war preparations and global strategic impact. In a dramatic show of force and strategic readiness, the United States Marine Corps has begun deploying tactical combat vehicles and military equipment to Norway, signaling a major escalation in NATO's Arctic defense posture. At the port of Orkanger, U.S. Marines carefully loaded armored vehicles and advanced combat systems onto the cargo vessel Britannia Seaways. The shipment was then transported to the port of Bogen, where forces are preparing for a massive high-intensity Arctic warfare exercise led by Norway. This operation is not just a routine military drill. It is a powerful strategic message. The Arctic is rapidly becoming one of the most critical front lines in global military competition. For decades, the Arctic remained largely untouched by large-scale military activity. Extreme weather, harsh terrain, and limited infrastructure made it one of the most challenging regions on Earth. But today, the Arctic is transforming into a strategic hotspot. Melting ice is opening new sea routes. Untapped natural resources are attracting global attention. And rising tensions between major powers are pushing the region into the center of military planning. NATO, led by the United States, now sees the Arctic as a vital defensive frontier, and Russia considers it a core strategic stronghold. Norway occupies a uniquely strategic position. Located along NATO's northern flank, it sits directly opposite Russia's Arctic military bases. From here, NATO forces can monitor Russian naval movements, air operations, and missile deployments across the high north. This makes Norway a crucial launch point for rapid military response. By deploying U.S. Marines and heavy equipment to Norwegian ports, NATO is reinforcing its capability to conduct rapid combat operations in one of the world's most unforgiving environments. The upcoming exercise will focus on high-intensity warfare in Arctic conditions. Troops will face extreme cold, blizzard conditions, frozen terrain, limited visibility, and harsh logistical constraints. These drills are designed to prepare NATO forces for real-world conflict scenarios where survival depends on advanced training, resilience, and flawless coordination. Key objectives include enhancing cold-weather combat readiness, strengthening multinational joint operations, improving logistics and rapid deployment capability, and testing new Arctic warfare doctrines. This is about preparing for war, not peacekeeping. The United States Marine Corps plays a central role in this deployment. Trained for expeditionary warfare, Marines are designed to deploy rapidly, strike decisively, and operate independently in hostile environments. Their presence in Norway sends a clear message. NATO can respond quickly, NATO can fight anywhere, and NATO is prepared to operate even in the harshest environments on Earth. For Russia, this development is deeply concerning. The Arctic represents one of Moscow's most vital strategic zones. Here, Russia operates nuclear submarine bases, long-range bomber airfields, advanced air defense networks, and early warning radar systems. Russia's second strike nuclear capability largely depends on Arctic-based submarine patrols. This makes any NATO military buildup in the region a direct threat to Russia's core deterrence strategy. As NATO expands its Arctic presence, Russia is likely to respond by increasing troop deployments, enhancing air and missile defenses, deploying additional naval assets, and accelerating Arctic military modernization. This dynamic risks igniting a new arms race in the polar region. Although geographically far from the Arctic, Iran is watching these developments closely. Why? Because NATO's expanding global reach directly impacts Iran's strategic environment. This deployment demonstrates that the United States and its allies possess unmatched global power projection capabilities. From the Middle East to Eastern Europe, from the Pacific to the Arctic. This reality forces Iran to reconsider its defense posture. In response, Tehran may increase domestic military exercises, strengthen defense ties with Russia and China, accelerate missile and drone development, and expand asymmetric warfare capabilities. For Iran, NATO's Arctic operations confirm one key reality: any future conflict could involve coordinated multi-theater operations. While China is not directly involved, the message is unmistakable. NATO is signaling that it can operate anywhere, at any time, under any conditions. This has significant implications for China's global ambitions, especially in the Arctic, where Beijing seeks access to new shipping routes and energy resources. NATO's presence complicates China's long-term polar strategy. This Arctic deployment is not just about regional security. It is part of a much broader strategic contest, a contest between the United States and NATO, against Russia and its strategic partners. With China carefully calculating its next move, the world is entering a new phase of military competition, one defined by multi-domain warfare, rapid deployment, and extreme environment operations. The Arctic is no longer a frozen wilderness. It is now a strategic battlefield. With more military forces operating in close proximity, the risk of miscalculation increases dramatically. A single incident, a misunderstood maneuver, or a navigation error could escalate into a dangerous confrontation. This makes Arctic military exercises both a show of strength and a high-risk strategic gamble. The deployment of U.S. Marines and combat vehicles to Norway marks a turning point in Arctic geopolitics. It demonstrates NATO's determination to dominate the High North. It challenges Russia's long-standing Arctic military advantage, and it reshapes global strategic calculations from Tehran to Beijing. The Arctic is no longer the edge of the world. It is now the front line of future conflict. Will the Arctic become the next major battlefield of the 21st century?